Kaspa Familia, welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. Let's take a look at what's happening with Kaspa and, of course, what we could be expecting. Shout out to you guys for showing so much love. Let's get right into the update. So, looking across the board right now, we're seeing a sea of red once again. Kaspa down about 5.5%. Let's take a closer look and see what is happening. Price at 5.7 cents right now. We're down 4.2% on the Bitcoin side of things. Valuation, $1.5 billion. And the 24-hour trading volume at about 72 million. As always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So, we've seen a hiccup for the broader market once again. It kind of ties back to the tariff conversations as we have discussed on the channel over the last few days. And of course, this has been having an impact on the altcoin market. Kaspa is no exception. As far as the dominance is concerned, you can see, we're picking up once again as far as the momentum is concerned right now. We're having a little bit of a hard time breaking out for the dominance around the 59.7%. You can see for yourself, we retested it 2 different times yesterday, once, today, and maybe next time around, we do see that breakout. You don't actually want to see that breakout for the dominance because that means more pain for altcoins could be coming. But based off of what Bitcoin is doing right now, it kind of makes sense why the dominance is picking up traction, because you can see for yourself, Bitcoin is literally on the neckline of the 23.6 fib support line. Breaking below here, you guys already know, I've said this 100 times on the channel. Breaking below here can take us back down to 107, and that is still on the table for myself because the price of Bitcoin is nowhere near where we need to be. We need to be at the minimum of 117 based off of the new all-time highs. I'm considering that. So let's kind of get rid of our $115,000 confirmation now, because of course that doesn't really apply for myself anymore because we were able to reach a new all-time high. So let's get rid of that. There we are. So BTC obviously kind of having a battle. The price of Bitcoin is trying to remain within the 23.6, and that's of course what the bulls are trying to do. Bears want to push the price back below, and of course third retest could mean sometimes the more you retest the support, the weaker it gets. And breaking below here, obviously, like I said, some of those targets to be looking out for. But if you're looking at Kaspa here, Kaspa again, was sitting at about 6.5 cents just 2 days back. Since then, you can see for yourself, we've seen a retracement of about 14%, but you can't really see what's happening with Kaspa on an hourly time frame. This support right here is such a significant support for Kaspa. You need to realize that, and I'll tell you why. Let's take a look at it on a daily time frame. Here we have it. This will give you much better look as to where we really are. You can see for yourself, the 5.6 cents, such an important support line. Like I said on the channel before, and we've retested it, and the price of Kaspa has been remaining above that level over the last few days. But again, breaking below here could take us back down to our wick that we did see at 4.7 cents. I know not a lot of people want to hear that, because that itself is still a move of about 17%. But one thing you guys need to realize is Kaspa was one of the very few projects that still did obviously had an impact, due to that major retracement within the crypto markets that we just saw about 7 days ago. But it was not impacted as heavily compared to some of the projects. So right now, though, the support still holding time in, time out. You could see for yourself how this 5.6 cent support line has played out for us. But like I said, breaking below here could take us back down to the likes of 4.5. So 5 cents would be the next support first. First and foremost, the 5 cents support, which again would be a move of about 13%. But again, pretty much opens the door for us to retest the lows that we set for ourselves. So, there are only a few coins that I think can complete the wick. And I think Kaspa, of course, is one of the ones that makes sense because it's not too far off from that wick itself. So keep a very close eye on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin drops below the 23.6, like I said, we would want the price of Bitcoin to reclaim back into 23.6 right away. If it's unable to do that, then of course that does mean we do see a little bit of more downside in the upcoming days ahead of us. But I think it is going to be short-lived. The sooner the better. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Love you all. See you later on Crypto ZX, and peace out.